What is going on, everybody? My name is Marco Barila, and welcome back to the Barilla Show podcast. I am your host, Marco Barila. Now, a couple things I want to discuss before I get into the video. One, it's just gonna be me today. It's gonna be a little solo podcast action from your boy. Number two, one thing I should really mention, and I'm gonna start mentioning for future episodes, is that I wouldn't say this podcast is rated R, but my audience and my topics can be, non-kid like. So viewer discretion is advised. There will be some language and topics that are not made for kids. So just a little warning. And third of all, yes, by the title, we are indeed talking about the risky topic of politics. Now, um, I'm gonna say it a lot in the rest of this video. Is that is I'm gonna try to be non-biased as possible, meaning I'm not gonna pick a side. I'm not gonna pick. Cause, well, first of all, I'm not Republican nor Democrat. I'm in the middle. I believe what some Republicans say, and I believe what some more Democrats say. That's why I'm in the middle. So please don't make me pick sides. I'm not gonna pick either side. I'm not gonna say who I wanted to be president. So, and these are just my beliefs. Because when I make this podcast, politics is one thing. Because I want to use my platform that I have to speak on my opinions, and I want to see what you, the viewers, have to think about this. And if you guys are not into this, like into topic, put in the comments down below. Like I said before, like I said in the first episode, I'm all about feedback. And if you guys don't like really talking about these type of situations or topics, and I'm fine with that. Completely fine with that. Um, I am gonna make this episode a little shorter. Sorry, cause one other thing I got feedback is that my second episode was really long, and I understand that it was an hour and 25 minutes. I wanted to make it a little long. Plus, it was my first guest on the podcast, so it was special. So in the future, I'm gonna probably make like 40, 50, 60 minute podcasts. That's the usual amount of minutes for a podcast. So yeah, I'm gonna be non-biased. I want to talk about politics because I want to use my platform. I have really strong beliefs that I want to share with you guys today. And write in the comments what you guys think I'm gonna say because I have a lot to say. Because yeah, and it's politics is something that I really really want to talk about because unlike most kids my age, um, they just ignore the facts and say, "Hey, that person's an asshole," without actually seeing why. Like why? Like most people will hate on Trump because oh he's a racist, or people hate on Biden, oh he's a child sniffer, a predator, and all that shit. But I, for some reason, politics intrigue me in a weird, odd way because I feel like um most kids my age don't like talking about it because they get into arguments, which I have actually with personal family and friends. And I intrigue. I've done my research. I've done my topics. I've had debates with multiple people about politics in general. So, um, like I said before, I'm gonna be non-biased, so I'm not gonna pick which side. I'm just speaking my form. If you guys are offended or don't like or agree with me, you don't have to. This is just my opinion. If you want to talk about me personally, you can DM me in the socials. Which, by the way, if if you guys are listening to this on YouTube, if it'll be my link in the description down below to my socials, or if you guys listen to this on SoundCloud or Spotify, it should be a link to my socials. Like I said, the podcast is on YouTube, PodBean, SoundCloud, and Spotify. So a lot of options. Make sure to follow me on all the socials to keep in touch with all the new episodes to come. And without further ado, let's get into it. So, why politics? Well, to be fair, I already technically just did say why I was talking about politics. So let's move on to the next topic. One thing I'm not sure about politics is that it can ruin a lot of friendships. What I mean by this is that politics are not supposed to be an iffy situation. It's not supposed to be a risky conversation, but with today's day and age and how soft, especially my generation is, or as the kid will say, Gen Z, which by the way, I fucking hate that name. I fucking hate my generation. I don't hate everyone in my generation because some people actually have brains and are actually reasonable, and then there's other fucking stupid ass half who just cancel shit out of nowhere. You know what I mean? But the point is that politics can ruin relationships. And I don't mean like boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. I'm talking about family relationships, friends relationships. I've gotten to plenty of arguments with my parents because my parents are Republican. And like I said before, I don't want to lean too into Republicans because, like I said, I believe and disagree with what some Republicans say. Sometimes Democrats can be more correct in a situation, and sometimes Republicans can be more in a certain situation or topic. And I've gone to plenty, especially during the 2020 elections, because like I said, I was in the middle. So my parents, I want I want to say convinced me to vote. Well, I can't vote anyway, but I want to say convincing me. But they're basically trying to say, hey, you know, I'm a Republican, so I'm gonna vote for Trump, and I'm gonna do this. So, but I like I said, I disagree with some Republicans say, but I also agree, and the same goes for Democrats. And I can't, especially like I said, in this many examples I'm gonna use because I didn't really start to get into politics uh, roughly around the end of 2019 to 2020 with the whole election with President Biden, ex President Trump. But and I didn't get really into it. But the more I realize that, because like honestly, politics should not be, and something I'm gonna talk about later in the episode is that politics should not be really a kid's thing, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm 16. You, the last person, like you at least expect my people to my age to talk about this stuff. But it's a really serious topic, and I feel like if my generation's gonna grow up, we're gonna have to learn because obviously we have to vote. Which, by the way, if you guys are gonna vote, please make sure you vote. I know it's obviously way too late, but still, in the future, please make a vote if you want to make a change. If you want to believe something in America and you believe that candidate can do something, please vote. I'm not sponsored, but it's just common sense. So, anyways, back to saying, I've gotten to arguments with friends because I kind of shit post about both parties because I do believe some both parties can be fucking idiots. And one thing I'm gonna get off the back, and I'm gonna be blunt honest with y'all, is that politics are fucking stupid. It's the whole idea of having a presidency is probably one of the most important things in American government that can't be denied. Even if you don't like politics, being a president is a really important role in America. But in a nutshell, it's basically a popularity test. It's like saying, oh, it's in a way, it's like a popularity test because oh, I want to vote for this guy, but this guy's more popular, he has more followers. A lot of people will agree with what he says, so I'm gonna vote for him, and it's fucking stupid. It's like running for class president. We have Brad, and then we have Rebecca. I don't know, fucking most basic white names, but the point is that it's gonna get messy either way because people are gonna start arguing about, oh, well, my president is gonna make a change. What the hell is your president done? Oh, and they go, the Republicans and Democrats go back and forth with each other, and it's fucking actually stupid. I don't find that necessary. It's really just pointless in my opinion. Um, but it's messy because, like I said before, politics are meant to be not supposed to be big, but at the same time, the social media and the news channels make it to be big because obviously millions of people watch the news channel a day around the United States, and it's a really iffy topic to talk about, and because of this, and not since my whole it's not even just my generation. Everyone in America right now are just so sensitive and so easy to get triggered about politics. And because of this, like I said before, if someone disagrees with you, like, oh yeah, I'm voting for Biden this year, and then your neighbor, your own family members, your friends can just like say, oh well, fuck you. I'm not, because you're voting for Biden, you're a predator, you're a child sniffer, and they're just throwing these accusations that annoy because like, hey, I I and one thing is that if I am gonna pick someone to vote for, I'm gonna pick not about what they're gonna do as president. I want to pick. I feel like a really good president should have a good personality and a good sense of what's going on and how he's gonna solve his or her issues in the office. And because if you're gonna have a president who's just half cocking it and saying, "Hey, yeah, fuck terrorist or fuck all this shit," and I was like, "Hell yeah, America!" The most redneck shit ever. I don't think that they should be president. I want a president who is not just representing their political party, but representing the American people. That's why I feel like a fun fact I learned a couple months ago was that the founding fathers, like Thomas Jefferson and all of them, they actually didn't want to have more than one political party. And you want to know why? Because what's going on now in America? You would expect America, like one of the, not to be biased or anything, because I am born and raised in America. America is like a shining beacon in the world. America is really important to culture and everything in general. Um, and right now, other countries around the world, like say South America or Canada, Europe, China, and Russia, they're basically laughing at us because as of right now, we're a shit show. You know, and if you were to ask immigrants from like a long time, like for example, my both of my grandparents are immigrants. My mom's parents and my dad's parents, they both immigrated from Italy to America in the early days. I don't know how long ago, but you would ask any immigrant coming to America, why are you coming to America? Because they're gonna say that they want to have a better life because or that their hometown or country is in the brink of war. Their low poverty. I can't speak. Crime rate is high. They just want to start a family or move their family into America. America was the shining beacon of the world. All that's why America is like a whole, like pot of different cultures from all over the world that come to America to make a change and a difference. And now I feel like if an immigrant were to come to America, they're like, this is not what my grandparents told me about. Like, they're embarrassed, because we're such a shit show nowadays. And I'm not trying to diss America. I love America. I'm not trying like a redneck or some shit like that. But like, I I feel like America could do better, and I feel like a lot of people agree. But you know, the problem with today's generation and today's society is that many people are afraid of change. Many people are don't want to see change and want to see or keep the way things have been. And because of this, and that's why there's so many issues and so many like political arguments. We're supposed to be divided. We're supposed to be not divided. We're supposed to be as one, as American citizens. But like right now, the whole fucking country is split into 50-50. And this goes way more past its politics. It's about racist assholes being racist to any other race. They think white people are the better race than every single other race in America. And honestly, if you think that, quite go fuck yourself. Quite honestly, I hate racist people. I hate people who think that other races are better than. That's not true. You and I don't need to be. I don't need to be teaching people this, but there's so many people in the world, in the South, that still believe this. That you know, if it's not white, it's not right. Like no, like shut up. I don't need to. I don't. A 16-year-old kid needs to teach adults, grown adults, about how we're all born and raised as one, as American citizens. You can be just because you know you're like I'm white and you're African American or you're Asian or you're any other race. Just because we have different skin color doesn't mean we're not human. We're literally are human beings, but in different skin. You know what I mean? It's nothing is ever gonna change about that. And if you we do not judge someone from their race, but judge them by their personality and who they are as a person. Do not ever judge a person by its skin. It's just stupid how people do that, and it sickens me. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Point is that politics sometimes, and especially one of the main things I hate about America, well, not America. I swear to God, this is not a hate letter in America. I swear. But one thing I hate about politics, especially, is that is the fake media. Quite and simple. You can ask any person who knows or talks about politics, and it's not even just the fake media; it's the biased news channels. And when I say this, is that I personally don't think politics should have social medias. They're not. They're not. Politicians just to talk about. I mean, what I mean by this is that politicians shouldn't have social medias because they didn't get voted in Congress or voted in office just to have a Twitter account and ramble and shit. They're there for one reason why is that to do their job as representative or governor or president, anything. And what people do, and it absolutely hates me, is that say for example, a Republican governor has a Twitter account, right? And obviously, the internet being the internet, there's gonna be a huge influence of people who are haters. Say like a large group of Democrats, like they have a large social media following. A bunch of Democrats follow this one person on Twitter, and they realize, hey, this Republican governor's on Twitter. I'm a Democrat, so anything that they say, I disagree with. So let's go and raid their channel. Let's go report them. Let's go protest. And don't get me wrong, I understand why it's basically just good for PR. Like, oh, um, Congressman blah 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 went to go to the charity event and donated $100,000 and shit. And okay, I don't mean shit. God, I seem like an asshole. But I'm not. I swear. But the point is that they do it so that they think they look good doing this, but really, you don't have to brag to your followers to say, "Hey, I'm a nice guy." It's like a social media influencer. Hey, I'm rich. I'm cool. Buy my shit. You know what I mean? It's saying, "Hey, I did something good. Can the media eat this up?" And no, it's just so stupid. And one good example is this is that I definitely don't agree how President Trump should have a Twitter account. And obviously I'm not sure if he's still banned. Last time I heard he was permanently banned from Twitter. But President Trump was a good example of saying what he did and what he did wrong. I feel like he didn't have a social media team. I feel like he just had his phone in his pocket and like, hey, fuck it, I'm bored. I'm gonna go throw a whole ass rant on Twitter. And it got the media's attention. It got everyone's hell. Even some Republicans were mad at Trump, and Trump was obviously a Republican. And I feel like that's why if they do have social media, I don't think the president should have any contact with it really, or any political leader. He or she has to have a team to do it for them. But if anything, like I find it really unnecessary to have social media platform because like another example is that especially during the 2020 elections was that I will see political ads, especially for President Trump and President Biden, basically shit talking each other, and that's what a political ad is. What really got to me is that because most Instagram user, I'm not saying every single Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter user is near my age, but a majority of you know Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter's audience are young kids, and you see all these ads, and this goes along with what I was saying earlier, how politics should not be introduced to a kid at that age. You should at least wait a little longer because, like I said before, politics. Although I hate politics and what has come to today, it is very important and it's definitely important in today's society and all that. And I don't but I get all these ads. I'm like, why the hell are they showing kids even younger than me about this stuff? Like, no, it's already worse enough that you're running and spamming these political ads on TV or on social media or in the media and all that. But you don't need to show it to kids. It's unnecessary. Like politics is like a really dangerous, risky stuff. It's an addiction. So people just don't stop talking about it and they get in trouble for it. I know a couple people who do that, and it's really annoying. But but how a fake media affects everyone is it's basically the whole point of political ad in the first place to shit talk their opponent, especially with President Trump and President Biden, what they did in the 2020 election. Obviously this goes way before Trump and Biden election. With the whole it happened with Trump and Hillary, Obama and Mitt Romney, Obama and everyone else. Bill, George Bush. And it's been going way back, like probably since JFK or Ronald Reagan, like all that long ago. But point is that I I understand why they're doing it, but like I said before, politicians should not view other opponents or not opponents, other How do I say competitors? It's not a fucking sport. The other people as their enemies, as separate army that they're attacking. You know, they should view him as Americans, not as a Republican or not as a Democrat. And I highly back my point up because it's not right. It's like say in a way, it's not right to judge someone by the political party. And that's why I hate seeing pictures of videos of people fighting. Obviously, because physical fighting, a Democrat fighting a Republican or a Republican fighting a Democrat. And I don't like seeing that. And I want more people in the world to just say, you know what? I don't care who you're voting for. You're an American. We need to be together. Because especially at a really scary time like this, where COVID-19 is still at large, hell, there's like 3 or 5 new variants. So we're definitely under attack by this virus. The whole crisis in Afghanistan, how the Taliban has millions of dollars worth of military U.S. equipment and weapons, and I feel like, and this goes along with the whole news. I absolutely hate the news. I hate it. One, it's a rare occasion that the news will ever present something good. Like I want to say, at least 30% of what the news says is good, and the other 80% is just a pure shit show and all negative. Rather that be if the American shootings, whether that's in a store, or school, or church, and I absolutely it sickens me to my core how many shootings have been happening. So I just read on the news a couple days ago that there was a shooting in Tennessee in a store, which thoughts and prayers goes to the family who got injured or lost in that day. Really, really sad stuff. But it absolutely saddens me how, as I said before, America was supposed to be this bright beacon of light that everyone loves America. America is, really strong, and now they see what's going on. I'm like, what the fuck is America? Like, if I live in Canada and I see American news, I'm like, what the fuck are they doing down there? Well, what the hell are they doing? And I hate it. And especially, I hate biased news channels. And this goes back to what I said about being a president. Don't I feel like there shouldn't be a president where they're not Republican, they're not Democrat, they're just a middle. They're just a president who wants to run for America, not a specific political party, but it's like as their own person and um as their main candidate. And I hate it because along with these separate political parties and separate sides, there's separate news channels. And I'm gonna be real with you, there's 2 news channels that piss me off the most, and and it's pretty obvious where they're Fox and CNN, which both excuse me, burp, both are really, really, really Republican. There's not they're not even trying to hide it. I haven't heard one good or positive thing about Democrats in on Fox or CNN, especially that asshole Carl Tuckerson who thinks he's doing right by reporting the news and um by doing right by his American citizens and telling him, but no, you're not. You're just spreading fake shit. You're instead of relying on the fact how we need to be together as a person, they're basically like I said before, especially at a time like this where America should be as one, as united. Hence, therefore, the fucking title United States. But people, and there's people like Carl Tuckerson, and they're assholes who run Fox and CNN, who said, "Yeah, no, we need money and views, so we're just gonna shit talk Democrats." Why? That defeats the whole purpose of doing it. I don't think. I think politics should be separate from the news. It should be its own topic, its own news channel. Because I feel like, especially with big news channels like Fox, CNN, ABC, and all these other news channels that air all around America, it's people should not be doing this. And your market people are running around like Marco. Why do some news channels talk about one party? And it's a good answer because, especially like I said before, with Fox and CNN, the owners, people who own, are heavily Republican, and they say, "Hey, I have my own news channel. Why don't I just spread the news about why I'm a Republican and my Republican beliefs, which you should not do." And it's quite stupid. I really hate it. And if you are, like I said before, they shouldn't, you know, they shouldn't be a specific news channel that talks about a political party. They should just, hey, and a good example is this is that as far as I am seeing it, all the times I watch it, ABC News is really good at it. They just report the news. President Biden said this, and they move on to what the interviewers say, or they interview, and then they tell the actual facts instead of pulling shit at their ass and making things sound worse. They just report the facts and then be quiet. They don't say personally, President Biden is a really is an asshole, or personally Trump is an asshole. Don't say. And my grandparents always told me, especially like again, especially during the 2020 election, do not say who you voted for. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to support a political candidate. You can support, you know, you can support whoever you want, Republican or Democrat. I'm fine with that. Don't don't express your beliefs. Don't. Okay. Sounds really. This sounds. I can't word it properly, but you get the point. Basically, don't pressure people into becoming a Republican. If someone is biased, non-biased, in the middle, or just don't pay attention to politics, don't stuff it down their throat. Hey, if you vote for Trump, he's gonna fix the economy. He's gonna fix the gas prices. He's gonna don't do that. You know, sorry. Politics already on its own is a really iffy topic to talk about, and talking it by itself is just really risky, and you shouldn't be able to do that. And because people who do that are real assholes. Like that's why I don't. Like I said before, you can't support and vote for whoever you want to vote for as candidate. You can support or back them up. I don't think you need to have like a Biden or Trump flag or poster, or you know, Biden Harris or Trump Pence signs in front of your lawn. I don't. That's just gonna cause arguments. You're gonna get really bad luck. You're gonna get shit talked online. You're gonna get, someone probably gonna vandalize or take it off your lawn. It's just like a big ass beacon and saying, "Hey, I voted for this guy. Come at me, y'all." That's basically what you're saying. I can't tell you how many people in my neighborhood, especially during that time, had Biden and Harris signs or Trump and Pence flags on their house. It's unnecessary. I don't want to know who you voted for. You know, I feel like the only person who know you're gonna vote for is your loved one. Your husband or wife. Um, and that's all. Because and this goes back to what my grandparents said, because you're gonna get in trouble if you say who you voted for. Like if you go, it's like going to a Trump rally. Riley, that's my cousin's name. A Trump rally and saying and wearing a Biden hat, a Biden shirt. You're literally heading into dangerous ass territory. You're gonna get jumped. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get shit talked. Just my advice is that vote for who you want to. Obviously, do that. If you're gonna vote, vote for who. Don't say to people besides your loved one. And then, like I said, this isn't. I'm not telling you guys what to do. This is my opinion. You shouldn't post on the internet. Hey, Trump 2020, Biden 2020. Do not post that. Do not. Eh, Honestly, if you're gonna do it, say it to friends who you know that are Republican. Like, don't say to don't say to your friend who's a Democrat just to piss them off and have a whole ass conversation and ruin their friendship. Don't. Just don't. And that's just my opinion. And another reason why I hate the fake media and biased news channels is that um is that they make things worse. And what I mean by this, and like I said before a while ago, um they tend to say news that is way worse than it looks. And a good example is the BLM riots that happened like a year ago, back in 2020. And there were some protests that turned to riots. And obviously, there's a huge, big difference between riots and protesting. It is, and I absolutely agree. You should. It's your right as an American citizen to protest. You have the right to freedom of speech, freedom to protest. But once that shit turns to riots, that's where you lose my support. Do not. it's not supporting your cause. It's making you look bad. And the thing is that throughout the BLM riots, I there's rarely any good stuff to come out of it. Sometimes people, what the news and media does is that it only shows the bad parts. Same example, they have like a 3 long hour recording of the riot, the protest, and they completely skip like 2.5 hours of peaceful, and they just skip right to the like, hey, the cops are throwing shit at them. The cops are. There's literally clips on YouTube of protesters sitting peacefully, holding a sign up, and then all of a sudden they start hosing and pepper spraying and shooting with rubber bullets. Like the news is not gonna show that. They're gonna show the other people, the people who are being oppressed, fighting back. And the reason for this, and I hate it, it's all for the views. It's all for the clickbait. It's like YouTube, like having a title. Oh my god, I can't believe he said that. Check out, like, and that's what biased news channels, even newspapers do, or magazines. They say, oh, they can make up a fake number of people who've gotten killed in the protests, especially cops or bystanders who trying to help the cops. And they'll just show clips instead of showing the clip of them protesting peacefully as all right as an American citizen. They're just gonna show them getting mad and start looting and rioting, and I hate that. It's like a good example is this is that if you're gonna cancel somebody, like say a celebrity or a politician, and they say, "Hey, I'm gonna cancel you," and they show a clip of you saying something, and then they're not gonna show the rest of the clip. And then, for an example, it's like saying, "I hate this certain person." I'm like, "Oh wait," and they're gonna clip it off just to where I say I hate. Say for example, let's say I hate a celebrity, right? They're gonna cut it off to where I say I hate it. And I say, "Hey, I'm gonna cancel you because you hit this person. That's not nice." They're not showing the full clip. They're saying, "I hate this person because he didn't invite me to a party or something." They're joking around. But people, it's not even just the news channels. Everyday people like me and you turn our own words against them, and then when they backfire them, they freak out and panic because they know that you just did that. It's so stupid, and the people need to learn that. Oh, sorry, I took a nice sip of water right there. But yeah, um, and another good example is this: is that how politics affect my generation, or like I said before, and I say this with I say this with remarks. Gen Z, I just hate that. It's a fucking horrible. It's like a curse word in my vision. How politics affect my generation. And oh my god, like I said before, you have both sides of generation. Like there's some kids my age who are Republican. There's some kids my age that are Democrats, and they'll do what I just said. They'll half-ass clips. They'll show half clips of say for example, President Trump said something rude, and then he corrects himself. But the kids who are Democrats are gonna cut it up and say, "Hey, you know, they said that. I'm gonna cancel him." It's in both sides. It's literally like the Civil War of them. The North versus South, the Republicans versus Democrats. It's a repeat, and it's so annoying to hear. And you see kids like my age who are affected by this, because I have had plenty of friends who lost other people, lost friendships because again during the 2020 election they were saying, "Hey, you're fucking racist because you're voting for Trump. Fuck you, we're not friends anymore." Oh well, you're voting for Biden, you fucking predator. Fuck you, we're not friends. That's basically everyone around school. Every single kid would non-stop talking about who they voting for, and this, I completely disagree. I completely disagree. I would shut my mouth and say, "Hey, fuck politics." I should get a flag that says "fuck politics" 2020. And it's a really good example of why I'm in the middle. One, because like I said before, I agree and disagree with both sides sometimes. Two, like the whole purpose is not to say I'm non-biased. I'm not gonna pick on one side because the other side's gonna get mad at me. It's just gonna cause more arguments. If you're like because like I'm the only person in my family who is non-biased. I'm middle. My brother and my parents are all Republican, and obviously they don't hate me, but they disagree with my thinkings that I'm a middleman. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat, and and it's so stupid because I feel like all people. I understand like that, and the one main thing that I didn't discuss is that I understand why that there's two political parties because especially the way today's day and age works, is that not that many people are gonna see eye to eye on certain topics like gun laws, abortion laws, adoption laws, LGBTQ rights, and all other stuff like that. You know, especially how much political parties are not gonna see eye to eye about this stuff, and that's why I think we should start our own political party where we believe that and you can believe that. We should separate. It's like, eh, and it's a weird comparison, but it's actually a good example. It's like America during the Civil War. The South believed that slavery was good, but the North said, "Hey, that's not right, Chief. Slavery is wrong." So like, hey, okay, you can live what you want, but we're gonna, get out of here. We're gonna start our own part of the United States. We're gonna start our own political government, and that's basically what political parties did. Like, yeah, you can believe in what you want to believe, but we don't believe that. That's why we're gonna start a different. And it makes sense. And I hate to say it, I don't think we can ever go back to having one, especially like I said in today's day and age. But look at the damage it's causing. At this point, it's causing more harm than good. People are getting people. Some people can get actually straight up get killed. I've heard some stories that like people have killed other people because of their political party. A Republican killing a Democrat, or a Democrat killing a Republican, and that's why I see videos and I see and I when I see videos and pictures online of like there's this one picture and it seemed to be like a young teenager and a middle aged adult man of like the teenager having a Biden Harris shirt and flag, and then the middle aged man having a Trump Pence flag and shirt, and they're just waving hands, they're shaking hands. Like if there is gonna be more than one political party, at least don't hate each other. Don't hate someone from their political beliefs. Hate them by their personality trait. Hate them by their who they are as a person. Do not judge somebody because of the political party. Do not. You can't agree with like I've had like I said, I have Democrat friends. I have Republican friends. Um and I'm not befriending them because they're a Republican or Democrat. No. We don't always talk about politics. We're just friends. In fact, there's sometimes where I'm like, I think I a Republican or Democrat. 'Cause we don't talk about that, you know. And I got a good idea for you guys, the viewers at home. If you know somebody who, say for example, the viewer is a Republican, go talk to a Democrat and talk to them politely why they're Democrat. Or if you're a Democrat, listeners, ask a Republican respectfully why you're a Republican. Have a simple conversation. Don't go right to accusation saying, "Hey, why are you voting for that predator? Why are you voting for that racist?" Don't. You know, and obviously, because like I said before, there's not a chance in hell that there's ever going to be more than one political party in America ever again. But um, just if we're going to have more than one political party, like having to at least have respect for one another. You may not always agree eye to eye on some situations, but at the end of the day, like I said before, you're American. You're an American citizen. That's not going to change the fact how, although you're different political parties, you're an American citizen, and eventually you're going to have to see eye to eye because you know, you're their neighbor. You live right next to them. And you can be roommates that are Republican Democrats, but they still live together. They still like each other. They're still friends. Like, don't look at a person and judge them. Like, and that's like the most basic, the most basic to quote of all time. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a person by their political party. If they believe that Trump is the best president, or if Biden is the best president, then respectfully say okay and be quiet. Don't say you disagree because that's gonna cause an argument. Just say I disagree with you, but if you believe that, go ahead. It's that simple. Even if it irks you, and if the person doesn't have time about politics, and hey, and like say for example, a Trump supporter is shit talking a Biden supporter, ask them respectfully to stop talking about it and move on. If they don't, just walk away. That's simple. And yeah, and then going back to what I said before about the social media part, it's one thing that really irritates me is how the media portrays a president. Going back to like basically, at this point, it's a fucking common theme in this whole episode, and I'm not judging a person by a political party. Is that like I said before about the whole idea about having a non-biased news channel? Is that have a non-biased news source on social media saying, "Hey, President Biden did this," and be quiet. Say the facts, get the interviews in, what the comments were, and move on. Don't say anything about your disliking of President Trump or President Biden. Do not say, "I hate this guy. I really just don't like him. He gives me bad energy." And because honestly, that's gonna cause more arguments with you know everybody. Everyone's just gonna absolutely hate each other for it. Please don't, because like it's already bad enough. Like I said before, we have more than one political party, but the fact how I have this image in my head of what's going on. Ready? Say the big villain is biased news channels or fake media sources, right? And it's like them sitting on their throne and watching everyday people like me and you like fight. It's like it's like gladiators. Like they're the audience and we're fighting because like hey, it's like yeah, it's like we're fighting. Team Republican against Team Democrat. You know, and I honestly, at the end of the day, we need to be one. Where it's so scary being raised in a country where everyone right now hates each other. Another thing is that um how much shit the president can get. And obviously I don't have from experience. I don't know anybody personally or me myself have been president. The one thing that is it's a truth and it can't be argued that no matter what the president does, they're gonna get shit. Obviously. And this goes back to saying if the president, for example, President Biden is Democrat, there's gonna be some stuff that the Democrats gonna agree with Biden, but say the Republican senators and the Congress are gonna disagree. If Biden makes a law, the Republicans are gonna disagree with him, but the people in Congress, the Democrats, are gonna agree with him. And for example, if when Trump was in office, Trump is Republican. Trump makes a law, the Republicans agree with him, but the Democrats don't. And and there's like I can't even say this in words because it just pisses me off. Is that for say for an example the whole COVID-19 crisis right now, and obviously the virus started under Trump's presidency, and it's still going on during the Biden presidency, and no matter what Biden does, he's gonna get shit. Personally, and this is my opinion, and this is something that me and my mother have talked about a lot of times, is that I do believe vaccines should be mandatory if you're gonna go to work or school. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand why people are afraid of the vaccine or paranoid to get vaccine because like sometimes it can be against their religion to get vaccinated or it's their beliefs that vaccines cause cancer, autism, blindness, and all that stuff. And I completely understand why it's scary because like oh I gotta have a burp that stuck. Um, but vaccines are another one of those iffy topics. Don't don't like I can't say this in words, but the point is that if you want to end this pandemic, please get vaccinated. I literally was watching the news yesterday, and I think it said like I think either 53 or 56% of America is vaccinated. That is mind blowingly low. That is so low. And there's sometimes there's interviews online of people interviewing random people like, hey, are you vaccinated? And they're saying, fuck no, dude, that old COVID-19 is fake. The vaccine's fake. And it's just all for money and shit. Like, no. If you think that, then you're a fucking dumbass. Plain and simple. There's evidence. There's scientific reasoning. There's literally loved ones have died of COVID. They're gonna stand here and say that it's fake. Fuck you. Just that. That's simple. Because if my same example, the reason if COVID vaccine to be mandatory for one to work, my father works at a public workspace and he's vaccinated. Say for example, his um a person next to him, his office next to him, or it's a connected office, and the person you share an office with somebody, right? That person's unvaccinated and doesn't wear a mask because it's his right, even though the building rule is that you have to get wear masks. They're gonna say, "Oh, it's my body, it's my right. I believe as an American citizen, I shouldn't get vaccinated. I should like all this stupid shit." I don't want you causing my father to get COVID or my mother getting COVID. Like I said, my father who works, my mom who stays at home and works at home goes out to run errands around everywhere. If I don't want your stupid ass who didn't get vaccinated and didn't get you know the proper registrations to I don't want to see stupid ass. Forget I said that, right? But the point is that I don't want you who didn't get the vaccine sickening my mom and sickening my whole entire family and putting my family at risk. Like I completely, it is indeed your right not to get vaccinated, but at the same time you're putting a lot of people's lives at risk. And if you have if people ever says I want to go back to COVID pre-COVID, I want to go back to my normal life as a normal, or guess what? If you want to go back to life pre-COVID, fucking take the right precautions. That means getting the vaccine, wearing your mask. I got vaccinated, and I still wear my mask because I care about other people's safety and I care about other people's families that they might have a loved one who is sick already, has a physical condition, or have elderly people in their house, especially with elderly people. Like, please, I understand that you're afraid of vaccines. Everyone's paranoid about vaccines, but there's scientific data that's been proven by the CDC and everyone else that have proven that vaccines can help. So, but I'm not sponsored by the CDC. I'm not sponsored by the American government. It's just common sense because I want to get out of this. I absolutely hate COVID. Shocker. I'm not sure if there's any person in America I know who doesn't like COVID. Not even among America. The whole entire the whole Earth. Yeah, basically. But yeah, people don't understand that the reason why we're so iffy about putting your mask on is that we want to get back to normal lives quickly as possible, but at the same time precisely as possible. Like, I understand that you want to go back to everyday life pre-COVID, but you have to understand that there are gonna have to be sacrifices. You're gonna have to get the vaccine. You're gonna have to wear, although the mask is annoying and it's hard to breathe. It's in a way it's basically helping you spreading the disease to other people. And people have to understand that. I know it's hard to breathe. If you think it's hard to breathe, now I know what first responders have to go through. There's people wear masks sometimes for days straight or hours on end. Especially surgeons, they wear like at least 2 to 3 masks. You're complaining, about the fucking Karens out there complaining that I can't breathe. I need a medical card to say that I can't breathe. Like, no, shut up. Just shut up. If you're complaining about how you can't breathe, go wear 3 masks for hours on end, like the first responders. Which, by the way, God bless for those first responders. If there's any first responders like doctors and nurses and scientists at this time, God bless you guys. Thank you guys so much for being heroes. Not all heroes wear capes out there. Thank you for any first responders, especially during this dark time. But yeah, um, but the thing is that if Biden makes a law that you have to get vaccinated to go to work or go to school. The people like me, I think it's hard. It's kind of hard. Because like I said, like I said before, the reason why I think vaccines should be mandatory is that I don't want a random stranger putting my family at risk because you didn't get vaccinated or you didn't wear your mask. But people like me who agree with that are gonna say, "Hey, that's actually good, reasonable, good for you. Make this a law." But people who don't agree with that, people who are against the vaccine, people who are against wearing the mask, are going to say, hey, fuck you. And then we're going to be back to square one where it's 50-50. We're never going to get this sort figured out. And please, please, people out there, if you know somebody or yourself to wear a mask or not get vaccinated, please do it. I highly encourage it. Okay, it's scary enough, but we know that we can fight it back. You know what I mean? But the president's gonna get shit either way for what he does, and I hate that. That's why being a president is one of the most hard mentalist things ever. You're gonna have so many haters. You're gonna have so many supporters, but sometimes the haters can be too much for you, and it can do mental damage to you personally. It can damage reputation. It can damage you as a human being. And that's why I have all these before and after pictures of presidents before and after the presidency. Like President Obama looked really happy he was president, and then towards the end, you know, a shit ton of gray hair. Which, if you think being having gray hair as being a parent is hard enough, imagine being the father of everyone in America. I mean, in a funny way, but yeah, it's not tough. It's tough. It really is tough. You At the same time you can't give presidents shit, but at the same time you can, because no matter what the president's gonna do, they're gonna get shit. It's not gonna be, and if it has happened, it has happened fucking ages, where everyone agreed with the president about making something a law. You know, and I hate that. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Good 51 episode, or depending how long I do this outro. Good 51-minute episode. A few things before the episode ends. Like I said before in the beginning, these are just my opinions. If you guys disagree with me, that's up to you. If you guys want to ask any questions or have a discussion about this, you guys can hit me up on the social media DMs. Make sure, maybe the link down in the description of my YouTube to my flow page to all my podcast social media. Basically, we're on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. The Billa Show Podcast. Um, if you're listening to this on Spotify or SoundCloud, it should be in the bio, I believe. But yeah, thank you guys so much for this episode. If you guys liked it, make sure you like and follow. If you guys are on YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, and make sure you like the video and comment what you guys think about this, because it's a very different type of tone of episode of this. And I'm not gonna make too many, because I like this whole podcast experience for me is supposed to be fun. And this is a really I want to say really really, but it's a fairly serious topic to talk about. Um, and like I said before, I want to make episodes that are not an hour long. I'll make an hour episode. If you guys tell me what you guys think. Do you guys like long episodes, or you guys like kind of somewhat short episodes like these? Even if, I'll probably do long episodes on special occasions, holidays, or anything like that. But point is, yeah. So if you guys like it, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow. Make sure you guys follow all the social medias, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Thanks for watching.